Hey guys, welcome to Cars and Health Bars. As you can see my screen. That's right, guys. On today's episode, we have for you an American muscle car tier list, as well as a Lethal Company and Apex Legends tier list for the gaming topic. With that being said, let's get right into it. So, like I said in the intro, we have a we're gonna see how many we get through, but we've got, of course, Corvette, Camaro, and Ford, and another one towards the end if we get to it. On the cars topic. So we're going to start with Corvette. And we do have them in order, thankfully. So we've got the Gen 1, I guess, the C1 Corvette, the classic.
OG, man.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
think it was one of the first.
it screams
So
50s.
debuted with a V6,
Yeah.
but eventually got the V8 after 2 years. But also another interesting thing about the C1 is Burge taught me this is
Uh-huh.
that with the AM radio they had to insulate the spark plug wires more because it was interfering with radio.
Huh. That's kind of cool.
You'd hear it in your radio, in your speakers. You'd hear your ignition system.
That's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah, a little interference there.
Yeah, so and I mean this thing just screams 50s. Like I just hear like life would be dream, life would be
Yeah.
dream. I mean it where you got it? I think A or B tier. I mean it's not nothing crazy. It is cool, but I mean
I'd say B tier. It's your first one. For the time, great suspension design by today's standards. By no means is it good, but for the time, it was really a good racer. Especially when you got the V8 options, which the one shown is a later. It's a dual headlight, so it's a later one.
yeah. Uh okay, so we have the C2 next. I just love the roll around headlights. It's so cool. Uh yeah, fifth window car too. No. I mean you could see some of those in fifth window at least.
Yeah, that one is in the picture if you
Yeah.
look there.
Yeah, I see
Split
that.
window.
I know you don't see those very often though. That's the thing. They're pretty rare, I would say.
Only 1963.
Yeah. And man, I like how it's got the center locking hub, like the wheel.
Uh-huh.
So cool. So cool.
My favorite Corvette platform.
Its ride height's super
Uh,
high though compared to the rest of them. It's kind of weird. It looks like off-road.
Man, they look good when they're lowered. They're a lot
Oh, I'm
smaller than
sure.
you think.
Yeah.
Great road course cars. I mean, there's a lot of racing history with the C2 Corvette, and then obviously you had special packages back in the '60s. Kind of like Copo Camaro. You had 427 4-speed
Uh-huh.
C2s, and man, I would just kill for 427 Muncie.
Yeah.
I'd probably want to swap it out with like a TKO nowadays, but I mean, still, I just imagine one of them with like LS3 and TKO.
Yes,
It's
sir.
perfect.
I mean, that's your granddad be drooling over that. I mean, that's right. That's right in
Yeah.
all our granddad's eras right there. C2 Corvette.
That's just the classic, man. For me, I got a S tier. That is the Corvette. But I can see an A tier because it is still not the best. I think they are actually double wishbone. I know C3 is, but I'm not sure if C2 is.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think we could put it in S tier and maybe think about it later on because
It's
I
a collector's car. I mean,
yeah,
value of those just reflects what people think of it and the condition they're all in.
definitely. So next we have the C3. The original Stingray. I would say
You
like it.
swapped B and C, by the way.
What is it?
You
Oh,
swapped B and C.
oops.
Yeah, there you go.
Uh, yeah, the original like Stingray. I mean, these things were so long. Like I remember my ex stepmom, she had one in our barn for the longest time. That thing is like, golly, the nose on that thing's so long. It's like a dang border collie.
Yeah, I like the C3 a lot. A lot of people, it seems like older people do not, though, because at least my dad, I gotta
Wow.
call him out, because they just made them for so long, and he's like, man, I really don't like them.
Yeah, my grandpa had one, so he definitely loved it. He had a green one. That thing was nice. Well, I wasn't much on the green. It was kind of like a puke kind of like green. I like this red for sure. That's on
Yeah,
shown in
the
the
early
picture.
ones had, your spiced up 350s.
Uh huh.
Later ones got your dumbed down 350s lucky to make 200 horsepower because they were just so low compression.
Yeah.
Not as low as the Camaro, but still low compression. And then obviously you had your Widowmaker, your 427 cars,
Uh huh.
and those were the ones to have.
Yeah.
C3 is probably one of the best platforms of its time.
Yeah, it definitely gives that American muscle vibe. Like it really looks muscled up compared. I don't know. You can kind of argue that the C2 had that, but it like to me, what makes an American muscle car is something that's kind of blocky, like something that isn't aerodynamic. It's more focused on power, and it's the C3. It just has that grill in the
It's the
front.
sports car.
Yeah, it really looks like an American muscle car to me over the first two.
Yeah, for sure. It's very aerodynamic too.
Yeah. Like it's got that blocky look, but yet it's got that like smooth hood going to that like ramped up like doghouse. It looks so good to me. It reminds me of classic American muscle.
Yeah, for sure. So I would probably get it B tier just because a lot of these you find aren't going to be in the best condition. They made a lot of these, and it's good for you as a consumer if you want to buy one because it's attainable.
Uh-huh.
Preferably, you'd want to at least build the 350, be a little spicier than it was in the 80s,
They came
70s, or even 60s.
Didn't some of these cars, the C3s, come out with the thigh burner, the side exhaust there? Or is that an aftermarket thing?
I'm not sure. I know the C2 did.
Yeah.
I love the C2's side pipes.
Anyways, we got the C4 here. Jacob Martin, of course, has one.
No, he's got a C3.
Oh, he does. I thought he has C4.
Yeah. No, he got a 77.
Anyways, you know, if there was one body style I dislike the most, it's probably the C4. Just because I just don't like cars from that era. It just they just look too like 80s. Like I don't
Man,
know.
I want to like it. I really do. I want to like it, but factory, I cannot.
It
Now, when they're done right, they do look good. It's far and few, but man, some of them do be looking good.
I know there's like a cult following behind the C4 just because people like that. I guess that Knight Rider or whatever that show was back in the 80s.
Oh, that's the third gen Camaro
Oh well,
or
still
Trans Am.
Still, it's like the all third gen GM cars have about the same like features and curvatures. The C4 is a lot more sloped than the fourth gen Camaro, but still, I still get that same vibe, especially the back half with the hatch and the door. Like everything on the back half, it's like
Yeah,
screams 80s GM, and
for sure.
it's just my least
The
favorite
interior
Corvette.
does.
And I think if they had the same, which I don't know much about Corvettes, but I'm imagining they had the 305 in it, just like everything else back then.
They were LT1.
Oh, okay, so yeah,
Most of them. They might have had the early one with their 05, but as far as I know, they're LT1.
is that the LT1 that had the OptiSpark issues with the water pump?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's man, I'm feeling like C or D for sure. That
Yeah, I
sucks.
would say this is my lowest tier, definitely C tier for me. I don't think there is a D tier for a Corvette because C4, if you want to buy a roller and LS swap it, that's not a bad idea at all, really.
Yeah,
They're
I mean,
still a good platform.
yeah, if you wanted a drift car, you ain't got to worry about putting this one in the wall. I mean, it is unibody, but
Yeah.
still, they're so cheap, you can just
And
buy
I
another
mean,
one.
if you want to autocross or track, they still got a really good suspension.
Yeah, are they scratch and dent? I mean, it's just a C4. It ain't like you're denting up no like $50,000 car.
Yeah, unless it's like the Lotus engine one, the ZR1,
Yeah,
which I guess we should mention that had twin overhead cam. I think it's a 5.5 liter, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember what it made. It was a lot of power for the time. Really,
yeah.
it was a killer. It put out like 480s or almost like 500 wheel. I feel like I'll look because I'm curious. LT4 horsepower Lotus engine.
Yeah, I didn't know that
Oh,
about it.
ad blocker.
I had no idea it
Yeah,
had
well,
a
yeah,
Lotus
actually, I've
engine.
worked on one.
Huh.
It was designed by Lotus. It was from 1996 to 97 only, and it was the compression ratio is weird. Oh no, 1.6 to 1 rocker, 10.8 to 1 compression ratio. It was underrated at 330 horsepower.
God, in the 90s, that's crazy.
It said it was underrated.
Wow. America
The
supercar.
LT5.
Well, I guess not technically. I
The
guess that would be the.
reproduction LT5 initially made 385, but was reduced to 375. But then in the ZR1, it made 405 at 5,800 RPM, which it went a lot further than that, I'm pretty sure, too. So,
Yeah.
yeah. The next gen LT5 was to produce between 450 and. Okay, so hold on. I'm guessing it was like 450. That's what I'm seeing here.
That's
Yeah,
insane.
475 horsepower. Yeah. I
That's
was right, like
insane for the
450 to
90s.
480. For the 90s, that is getting down.
Yeah, that is boogieing, dude. But,
Be hurting Terminator Cobra feelings.
yeah.
And it came out like 10 years before one.
So, C5, of course, you know, I'm a big fan of pop up, but I do like it whenever people convert them over. But yeah, how do you feel about the C5?
I like pop up.
Yeah,
How do I feel about
we're
C5?
starting to get into some cars
That's
that you have strong opinions on.
that's the bread and butter of my job.
Yeah,
I think is C5 and C6,
C5,
which
C6, C7.
I really have to rate the same because they are on the same, almost the same. I mean, the LS7 cars might not be, but
Yeah, not much
they're
difference.
almost they're on the same subframes, and the front like radiator support, interchanges, coolant reservoirs interchange, batteries, the tray like it's so much interchangeability besides like interior, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I don't think C5 had heads-up display quite yet. I think that was
It did,
later. Really?
yeah,
Jeez.
yeah.
C5 is
C5
like
is
way ahead of its time.
man, C5. I'll get one day. I think. I want a C7 too, but I'm gonna get a cheap C5 and LS3 swap it. That's my favorite C5 I've ever drove. Not a LS7 one. LS3 one was
is
perfect street car, dude.
is Busby's car a C5?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, C5 is
Most aerodynamic Corvette ever produced is the hatchback cars too. Most aerodynamic Corvette.
I'd say C5s are getting kind of affordable too, especially like
Oh, you
the
can get one
stock
for like
ones.
10 grand, dog.
Yeah, they're definitely the most affordable, nicer one in my opinion.
I'm telling you, if I see a roller for 5 or 6 grand in decent shape, I'd buy it.
C6s are still pretty high, definitely. C5s there's a
Early
big
ones
difference.
are not, and
Yeah, but you don't want an early C6 though.
you really don't want an early C5 either, because that PL1 is just a bitch. I'd rather be P59 on the ECU.
Okay.
So I would have it A tier.
Yeah, I would have it over the classic because it's just C5.
Yeah, I would too, honestly.
This is more attainable, honestly. Is kind
But
of
I'd still
where
have a
I'm at.
C2 over a C5. I'm pretty happy with the list so far. It's definitely how I feel.
Yeah. So moving right along to C6, and if you want to talk about the better
We
C,
should talk specs on the C5. So starting out, you get the LS1. Obviously, who doesn't like a LS1? The first 2 years have a perimeter bolt head. It's kind of junk, but still, I'd take it. Because all you gotta do is change some heads, which is nothing in the LS.
yeah, if
I think they put out 325 horsepower.
super easy to do heads camming on that thing too. I mean, get some
Yeah,
extra
you do
power.
minimal mods and you're making 450 wheel on a good day
Yeah,
if you got a good, really good head cam setup.
that's pretty good for a 5.7.
Yeah, and the only upgrade was to the Z06. There was no Grand Sport or nothing, but there was a fixed roof coupe, which was what all the Z06s were,
Uh huh.
and there's the hatch, and both of those were in the base too. And the Z06 just made like a little more horsepower. I feel like it was 340 something. It's just a nicer cam and intake.
Mm-hmm. So a little bit of a downgrade from the C4 making that insane power for its
Well,
year.
the base C4 is only making like 340.
Uh huh.
So, and maybe not even 340. It might be below that. I don't know what the LT1 made. It might have been 290. Definitely a good platform, though. I mean, one of the best racing platforms ever made by G.
Yeah. Yeah, and same kind of the same concept I would go with the C4. It's just they're so obtainable that like it just damaging the car is like no problem. Like you can get fenders, it's still relevant enough for you to get parts for it pretty easily. I probably not at probably
Yeah.
not at your local junkyard, but like online, no problem. Like there's plenty of people online that
Oh
have
yeah,
these
parts
parts.
house gonna have everything for one.
Yeah, so C5 definitely a good car to have. So I guess if you're ready, we can move on to the C6. And you want to talk
Yeah.
about packages? I mean, immediately what comes to mind is the LS3. We saw the LS3 in the first Corvette and the C6.
Well, LS2 actually first when it
Yeah,
came out
6.0.
until '08.
And then we saw the LS3, which was man, LS3. And you get like, I think the LS3 came in like the most kitted up package because you had like everything, the heads up display. You had the what were they only in manual cars, or were they
No,
in
it's
auto
in
cars too?
base cars.
Yeah,
It's in autos. Yeah, we got an auto LS3 car at the shop right now.
yeah. I mean, you got the ZR1 too. I mean, that's like, I would say that's one of people's most desired packages is the ZR1 C6.
Yeah, it's hard to say. It's hard to say between that and the Z06. Everyone's in
Yeah.
between on it. And I think the Z06 does way less than the ZR1, so it actually does track a little better on stock power.
Uh-huh.
Uh, Definitely, there's cons and pros to both of them. It seems like the real heavy track guys tend to go for the Z06, I've noticed.
Yeah. Man, and the support is so crazy for all of these Corvettes, really. But like, there's so many people. I see so many modded C5 or C6s. Man, it's just like everybody just. This seems like the car that everybody customizes.
Yeah, just there's some ride tech coilovers on it.
Yeah,
Delete
C7
the leaf
headlights.
springs. Cam, gears,
Yep.
RPM, trans and diff, and road course it up. I mean, it's just
You
you're
don't-
going to town.
You don't see very many stock C6s unless it's like an older guy that's collecting it. Like if you see a C6 street car, you almost know something's it at least got heads cam, or at least cam, I would say.
Most of them do, it seems.
Yeah, you don't see very many of these staying stock.
So I still wouldn't put it S tier myself. It'd be above the C5, but
Yeah, it's not quite
couldn't
there.
be S tier for me.
We got the C7, which I think me and you both like. It's a car that we desire heavily. Man, I love the C7, dude.
I will have a Sebring Orange Grand Sport.
I want a Summit White C7 so bad. I love the Summit White with black wheels. Like it is probably the most basic C7 that people have.
That's my car if it was a Corvette.
Yeah.
Summit White, black wheels.
Yes, that's what I want. Like I want Summit White for sure. That's my favorite color on the C7s. I do love that.
Starting out, you get the LT1, the Gen 5 engine.
Yeah.
446 or 8 horsepower and same torque, I think. Great platform. I mean, killer torque, and compression is, if I'm not mistaken, like 11.3 or I'll look it up, but
Then you get the 8-speed
good
too.
power. Yeah, you got 8-speed or 7-speed manual, and like every GM that gets a Tremec, it's just unkillable. Like if you kill that transmission, you just are doing something wrong.
Yeah, and then we could talk about the LT4 supercharged. Like, golly, that thing just out the box of the 4-speed recommend. Even just putting a pulley on it, like, man.
Yeah, I mean they're gonna make 650 horsepower and torque, and then very minimal mods, and you're making 750, 850.
Yeah, and that's a C7 750. I mean, you have the same power in a Camaro, you're still getting gapped because the C7 weighs so much less and way more aerodynamic. Like C7, it takes that power like the extra mile. Like they don't. What's their curb weight? Like their curb weight is like insane compared to like a Camaro.
Like 34 or 35.
Oh well, it ain't that much different. 1,000 pounds. So our cars weigh like right at 3,900. Don't they? Yeah.
They weigh 3,400.
Okay, so yeah,
Oh wait,
about.
hold on, I'm having mixed things here. Yeah, 3347.
33. Okay, so about 500 pounds.
What a C5 weighs. C6.
Yeah. Which for a car that has all the things that Camaro has and then some, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, they're 11.5 to 1.
way more aerodynamic. It's just like a man C7. It's I don't know. It's my
They're still not as aerodynamic as C7 or 6, or I
no,
mean
but
C5 or 6.
still what the cars that's in its era that are making the same amount of power. I would say it's more aerodynamic. Definitely better than the boats and the Camaros. I'm not too sure about Mustangs. I would assume it's still more aerodynamic than them.
It's definitely more aerodynamic than them.
Yeah, I know
They
Mustangs.
they do decent in wind tunnel.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Uh, Talking about the LT1, there's also the LT5 and the ZR1. Probably the craziest rear-wheel drive car I rode in is the ZR1. Um, it's just ridiculous how that 2650 dude just is overkill.
Yeah,
750. It's advertised as 750 crank, but it's more like 780, 790. I'm really surprised people don't talk about it more because it is just killer, dude. It makes stupid power.
yeah.
I mean, you do minimal mods to that thing, and you're making 1,000 wheel, and no one wants to talk about it.
I think a lot of people just go Pro Charger on a base model. I see that a lot.
Yeah, that is super common. Pro Chargers, which I'm not a big fan of on those cars. I'd rather do a heads cam.
Yeah, but a lot of people just look for that 1,000, and that's I'd say that's the easy way out for sure.
Yeah,
Pro,
you gotta have a decent sized Pro Charger then,
yeah,
like a F1A or so.
yeah, but I mean, if
But
you
yeah, great cylinder head design, Gen 5 platform. I mean, I really
wet
don't know
sump,
what else to say besides, only base models wet something, the rest are dry sump. So,
yeah,
great oiling system, got oil squirters,
yep,
good compression, stupid good cylinder head design, great chamber, great rockers, and 1.8 rockers.
I spared no expense with the C7.
Yeah, 11-degree valve angle. I mean, you keep going on. It's like everything about it.
Yeah,
It flows super good out the box. It's no surprise that Brian Toohey is kind of taking notes off that for those new LS3 heads.
yeah. The guys at GM definitely know what they're doing. I definitely have this at S tier. I mean, that's S tier definitely. I mean,
Yeah, the base
that's
model
it.
maybe not as much, but any other package, and yeah, S tier for me.
Yeah, it's just
Which I think the C6 would be there if it didn't have really bad base model options for the early model years.
yeah,
I think if all were LS3 cars on E38, they might all be on E38. But anyways, if we were talking about just the '06 or ZR1, it'd be S tier. That's not the case. Even a base C7, I would really take over like a Grand Sport C6.
yeah. That brings us to the C8, the most recent Corvette, which I'm not a huge. I mean, the body is starting to not bother me as much, but man, I don't like how they went more like exotic with the body. It's just not my favorite. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah, whether you like it or hate it, though, I think you gotta say that the LT2, which I don't even remember what it makes, but that is a
I
great
thought it made
engine.
like 550 crank. I could be wrong though.
I'll Google it. I really don't
I
know
think
because
it makes
I've never
550
had my
crank.
hands on one. I've put intakes on plenty of Gen 5s, but never actually touched the LT2 itself
Yeah, but
because it's only C8.
yeah, and we've talked about this before, but the whole mid rear engine or mid engine, everybody like these boomers go crazy. They're like, oh, that ain't where it's supposed to be. But originally, American supercars, that's where they were. That's where it was, mid engine.
Yeah, the C2 was meant to be that. So looking here, this is kind of funny. It takes 0W40 from the factory. I never knew that.
Huh?
It's a still 11.5 to 1 with a 59cc chamber. Uh, Same size intake and exhaust valves. Let's see, power 495 at 6450. So you still got more
Oh,
RPM.
I thought
I don't know if it'll make more with the stock cam, but
I
you,
thought I was
you
seeing
probably got a little more.
550. I don't know where I read that at, but I'm not too far off.
Yeah,
55
and
minutes.
those all have the dual speed clutch too, so you really can't knock that.
Yeah, and they're 10 speed too, aren't they?
No, they're 8,
Oh, I thought they were 10 speed.
but still, you
Yeah,
got four.
still got
Four
plenty of
extra
RPM to
gears.
mess with. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know what 1 to 1 is. What, 6 or I'm assuming sixth gear.
Uh, yeah, you can't not talk about the performance of this car, regardless of what it looks like. This car's outperforming everything right now. I mean, it just corners so good. It makes insane power. Granted, it
And then
might
the
not
Z06.
might not be gapping nothing on the drag strip, but it be cornering, no doubt. Like, you ain't messing with this thing on road course.
You ain't messing with the Z06, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Oh.
and
Those make 650 crank, and they're a 5.5 liter dual overhead cam. But I don't want to take no jab at Ford boys, but
hmm,
you know,
yeah.
they're doing coyote things, but a little better.
I mean, it's true, very true.
GT 350 is only putting out a measly 520 crank.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really know where I'd put this. I don't really want to put it in S tier just because its looks just bring it down a notch for me, but that's kind of my opinion. I'm kind of curious to see what you think.
I do have it in S tier, but I'd like to see where these end up because either they're gonna be the new C, or they're still gonna be pretty well took care of and be kind of like the C2. And I'm curious to see how they end up. I feel like a lot of people treating these cars bad once they get a little older.
Yeah.
See some abuse. I mean, we done see plenty wrecked, but I'm curious. I think it'll end up kind of like C7, which is starting to be more attainable.
Definitely. Yeah, I don't think we're going to have enough time to do any of our other cars tier lists, but that's okay. We'll save them for another day because...
I just take a little peepski doodles here.
I've also got a Camaro tier list, and the sixth
That's
gen...
got packages, huh?
Yeah, the
And
fifth and sixth. Yeah, it goes into packages.
Oh, and it's got the year models of the fifth gen. Dang.
Uh-huh.
Got
Yeah.
the early and late.
Yeah, so...
I'm curious how that'll end up.
This will probably take a minute to do. And that third gen, God, stop with that, bro. That looks so good. And that fourth gen too, God.
Yeah, I feel like
stop.
I've seen that fourth gen before.
I
drift
just
car.
I can't with Camaros, dude. I'm gonna put them all in S tier. That God, that split bumper, just stop it. And then we got, of course, Mustang tier list. It doesn't go as in depth. It's definitely just the generations. And our last tier list was going to be OEM wheels, which there is not many, and it's definitely not all of them. For some reason, GM isn't on here. There's
see Volkswagen.
There's a Corvette. I think that's C4
BMW.
wheel.
Yeah, that's C4 all day.
This
Got
might
Ferrari.
be fifth gen. Maybe it's got. I don't think so.
No,
it's
it
got these
ain't.
weird. Yeah, got two Nittos.
Got Tesla wheels.
Yeah, that's definitely barf. But yeah, that's a little peek at what we're probably gonna be doing here soon. I'm definitely excited to do the Camaro one. I know you might point out we have done these cars in like a big, huge American muscle car tier list, but me and Jordan just know so much about the individual makes and models that I thought it'd be good to actually break them down in their generations on a tier list. So of course that's what we're gonna be giving to you.
Yeah, because they may have done bad on the one, but that doesn't mean necessarily think that way about them.
Yeah. So, with that being said, guys, we will throw this into our gaming topic, and we'll be right back. All right. So, if you watched our last episode, you'll know we've been playing a lot of Lethal Company. So, I wanted to do this tier list probably be pretty short. If it isn't, we have another one, like we said in the beginning. I kind of had backups in case we kind of sped through them. But I want to do this tier list based on how scary they are. And yeah, so I didn't want to do it based on it's just too much to base it off of. So I just want to do how scary they are. So with that,
let's just rate them how we feel about them. I think we can do that.
Okay. Because So first is, I don't remember what they're called. I scanned it recently and found out what it's called. I thought they were friendly because they just jump around you forever.
No, I got killed by one.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. They were friendly until I got like 10 feet from the ship, and they're like, nah, I'm going to eat this dude. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, they're probably my least favorite one in the game. Or they're tied with one other.
Yeah, they're not very scary. They're just kind of annoying.
They're just annoying.
I'd put them D tier.
Yeah, there's no need to even contemplate that.
So I don't really know why the bees are on here necessarily. They're like they're not scary. They're just, honestly, I'm kind of happy to see them because I know I'm about to hit day one quota. I don't
They
know.
always kill someone.
I've gotten really
They
good.
always kill
I
someone.
watched a video on how to solo grab beehives, so I be not really worried about that no more. It pretty
Oh,
easy.
well, I know they used to just straight kill us every time,
It
so
it pretty easy. You just gotta juke them the right way. I'll let you put this wherever because you seem kind of passionate about the bees.
I say C tier then if it's easy to juke and I just don't know.
Yeah,
Hmm,
Brecken. The Brecken, I would say,
that's my boy.
originally in the game, I think like a new player would be deathly horrified of him, and I'm still scared from time to time. Like I'll just be like minding my own business, and I see wide eyes. I'm like, oh, uh.
I already know what's happening.
uh, I would
That one clip of me, we need to insert that here.
Yeah, well, if you have time, just take a break, go to our TikTok. I think I have both mine and Gavin's views of that clip. It's so funny. Jordan, if you haven't seen it, Jordan looks down a hallway and he's like, "Hey guys, did you even know it was a Brecken?"
No, I didn't. I never saw him.
Jordan's like, "Hey, there's something down this hallway," and then like I don't even know if he finished his sentence or not, and all you
I
see
just went, ooh.
from my point of view, you just see his arms go flying down the hallway. For Gavin's, you see the whole thing. You see him get grabbed. And the funny thing, if you watch my point of view, it's a little bit longer. I actually follow the Brecken. The Brecken stands on a landmine, blows up, and I'm like booking it down the hallway laughing. Gavin's behind me, and all of a sudden you just hear a turret, and Gavin's like, "Oh no!" And then he gets shot through the freaking hallway. It's so good. Like I'm telling you, if you haven't played this game yet, it is so much fun.
It's
Anyways,
always like a movie.
it is. I love it too that we're constantly recording because there's always a funny moment to be captured.
Yeah,
uh I would say the Brecken's A or S because that's like the OG
for
like
sure.
really scary mob.
I'd say S tier.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the man.
that is the man. Uh, so let's see, we got the Springtrap boy. I'd say
Man,
he pretty
that
dang
one will
scary.
run up on you,
I didn't
dude.
know he could book it like he could until like the last time
Boom.
we played, dude. He was like instant. Like you blinked and he got you.
So how does he activate? Do you have to see him first and then look away, or can he just book it to you?
I'm not sure. I think he can just book it to you until you look at him, and that's kind of like deep what
God,
stops
that's
him.
just crazy.
I mean, he is like no
He
bueno.
not fun.
And
If
like,
you got him and something else nearby, it's game over.
yeah, you better. And it's really hard to like exit because you got to look at the door to open it. So you almost got to like have one eye on him and one eye on the door to like get
You
out.
gotta
It's
look
pretty
in front of
challenging.
it.
I'd say he S tier for sure. Like he pretty
Yeah,
rough.
he ain't fun.
The eyeless dog. After we figured out that he is based off sound, he's pretty easy. He is still kind of sucks. I don't know. I don't think I could put him in D tier, but I feel like C tier is not too bad. What do you
I
think?
was thinking more B tier
Really?
myself. He kind of mid.
Yeah. Especially if you got multiple, dude. That time Bree had like 5 on her, dude.
Nah,
That's like you ain't moving if there's one near you. I don't know about the forest giant.
he's
He's very
he kind of
avoidable.
weird.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's very avoidable, scary at
unless he's
first.
like right in front of the ship, you probably get around him.
Yeah, it is terrifying to as soon as you load in, you just hear him stomping around.
Dong dong. What's that?
Yeah, I'm thinking like A, B, or C. I'm not really too crazy on where he goes.
It's like C tier.
Yeah.
He ain't as bad as the dog.
Now the girl, I'm curious to see what you think about the girl because I think I was the first one out of our group to see her.
She pretty bad, bruh.
I think did you even know about the girl until I saw her?
No.
Dude, we literally went into this game not knowing what she was. Like, I was the unfortunate one. Like, we were just minding our own business. I was leading the way, and you'll have a lot of areas where it's dead end. So I go up the stairs. I come to a dead end. I'm like, all right, everybody, turn back around. And as they're all looking at me to see if it's a dead end, there's that little girl standing in between all of them. And I just start screaming. I'm pointing at her. I'm like, look, she's right beside you. So if you didn't hear our last episode, the way she works is only one person can see her at a time. Like she only goes after one person at a time, and it's like a whole thing. You'll have to play the game to find out. But yeah, I'd say she's S. I'd say she like top S tier. She needs like her
Yeah.
own dang thing. Honestly, like she is horrifying. So the Luke boy, yeah, he's cute.
He my homie, dog.
He get a little mad if you start hanging around
I
him too
like it. I
much.
like it when he pees in the mod.
Oh yeah, we need to add that. Does
We
he
got
do
it
that
in
whenever you give
Gavin's.
him something?
Nah, he just does it all the time.
Oh my god. Uh,
I got him A tier, dog. That's my dude.
just for it being just
I
chill.
just I just love him.
Okay. The Blob is so D tier, like top of D tier.
Yeah, I
He
don't
is
know
the
how.
worst. I don't even know why
If
he's in
you
the
play the
game.
game, you know.
Like you literally jump up on a railing and he ain't getting you.
God, this guy though.
Oh my god. Have you played Gavin's mod pack where he plays Freebird?
Yeah. I went. Well, everyone died, and I went inside the fire exit, and I just heard Freebird playing. I was like, "Oh, I need to leave."
I mean, he's game over if he pops up. We found out because we even exited the building and that dude was still popped out.
I thought he was supposed to reset too.
Homie was set on kill. Him
I
and
got
the
him A
dance.
tier, dog. He at first he don't make no sound. He just you don't even know he's there, and then all of a sudden he's following you or something. You
Yeah.
better hope he don't lock you in no room because it's just game over.
Yes, it is. I like how the first time, I think, did you know he popped out of the box whenever you were beating him with the
No, I don't
shovel?
think so.
I remember
No,
the first time we seen him, Jordan got a shovel and he felt so powerful. He's like, I'm going to kill this dude. You just start beating him with a shovel while he's cranking up.
I try to kill stuff. That is my goal.
Yeah. Uh,
I must have a positive KD.
you probably do, honestly. You done killed a lot of the mimics. Uh, no, we got the dang pus boys. I would say they're C or D for sure. They're so
I'd
avoidable.
say D tier.
Yeah.
I just don't even like them.
They're so.
They're just annoying. The sound they make is awful.
Because they stomp kind of loud. You assume it is something like dangerous, but it's just like, oh wow, it's just this guy.
And it sees you and it makes that weird sound every time.
Yeah, I don't even know if his dang fumes can kill you. It's just annoying, I think.
I have zero clue.
Yeah. So we got the mimics here. Man, that's so fun.
Probably my favorite thing in the game.
Yeah, it is so fun, especially if you have the mod on that takes the mask off and has them have the
The
same
more
costume.
people you got, the better.
Like, oh my god, dude. I think the mod was honestly broken that first time we loaded it in because, man, we played like it was the very first game we loaded into with the mod pack, and there was like 5 of them outside just waiting. I remember we were on Val, and like immediately, like there's like 3 guys running after me. Like I was like, okay, like we gotta leave like right now already. We just got here and we already gotta leave. I mean, where you got this at?
A tier.
Yeah, it's so much fun, dude. Like the mask people, and they can mess you up too. Like they corner you, you're done. There ain't no going nowhere. You get caught in a dead end, it's done.
Like yourself in the ship and put it on.
Yeah, that's the best thing to do, honestly. So the Nutcracker, man, he crazy. He crazy.
He on one.
He started blasting, dude.
He moves so fast.
Yeah, I think they buffed him too to where he like can aim and move at the same time now. Like homie gonna be
That's
peeking
nice.
Counter Strike, dude.
He gonna be
slow
moving
peeking.
like Call of Duty movement. He gonna be busting through the door.
God, that'd be so funny if you could install a mod where he like did Call of Duty movement. You catch him like leaning on a doorway.
He kind of just slide canceling everywhere.
Oh my god, that'd be the funniest thing ever.
I'd say B or A tier.
Yeah, he
His
is.
shotgun is pretty fun to get.
He pretty. I'd say he's avoidable in the terms that like the sounds he makes are so distinct. You almost know. All right, it's fire exit time.
Yeah,
The snare bug sucks in like the terms of
I
like
hate him.
if you don't have a homie near you to knock him off, that's over. That's a death. That's
Well, you
one.
just never know where he's at.
Yeah,
You always gotta be checking your ceilings.
he's not scary. Yeah, he sucks. I'm thinking C tier.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought.
The bunker spider. We recently found out
Homie
you can
does
kill
some
him.
damage.
But yeah,
Oh, you can't? I thought you could.
no, that's what I'm saying. We recently found out we can kill him, but it does take a lot of beating.
Yeah, he took more beating than the other dudes.
Yeah, bunker spider, and plus another kind of bad part about it is you can't recover the body if homie wraps you up. That sucks too. 'Cause,
Yeah,
like,
you ain't even gonna get near him.
yeah, I tried to get Jordan's body. He was like, he's mine now. I'm eating him later.
He stashed me.
I'd say I'm kind of feeling B tier. He's avoidable because his footsteps are very
Yeah.
loud and noticeable. But
You see the webs too. You already know what's
yeah,
up.
yeah. So these guys like Jordan, like that's the reason he got positive KD. He'd be killing these homies all day. He'd be stacking
They easy
bodies.
kills.
Yeah, these guys were they're kind of annoying and scary until we found out like Jordan can just like beat him over the shovel like a dang like Cave City crackhead.
They're wild though, man. The first time I heard one, I was like, "What in the world is
Mm-hmm.
that?"
Did the giant get inside?
It's like, I don't know. It's like dragging itself. Hard to explain.
Yeah. I mean, where you got this boy at?
Probably B tier. I can't put him over any of that.
Yeah. So the death worm, it's not scary at all. Like not none whatsoever. But
It's just like, what is that?
it's an
And then you
insta
find
kill.
out,
I don't think
and then you find out the hard way.
Yeah, I've never seen anybody avoid getting killed by this thing. Like it's.
I have.
Oh, you have.
If you have full stamina, you can.
You can outrun his death circle.
If you do it as soon as you hear it, you can outrun them.
Wow. So I don't really mind where this goes. I don't think it's scary in any means whatsoever. I just think it's
Yeah,
like
I'd say
just
C tier.
it's just getting insta killed pretty much. Uh,
You gotta just be them to find out sometimes.
yeah, that's the fun part about this game, being the person that finds out about an enemy first.
You just learn the hard way, and that's how it is.
Yep. So with that, we will move over to our Apex tier list here. Uh, so we've got Jordan will have to help me with the gun names because it's been a really long time. I already know this is a 30-30 repeater, and
Oh yeah.
you've played this game a lot more than me. I've got into it a little bit, but you'll have to help me put these guns some places. I remember really liking the 30-30. If you're accurate,
Yeah,
it messed people
if
up.
you can hit some shots, man, and it doesn't. I don't know what you call it, but the damage ramps up the longer you hold on your sights for a second. So
Huh.
it do some damage, like especially headshot damage. If you can ping them heads, man, that thing pretty rowdy.
I'm thinking like A or B for sure.
I'd say B tier,
Yeah.
and maybe C. Yeah, there's a lot of really good guns in this game.
Yeah. So I don't know what this is called. I think the car.
Alternator.
Oh, the alternator. Okay. I remember you saying you really like this gun.
Yeah, it's OG, man. It holds extra rounds over most other SMGs, or no, not more rounds. It does more damage per shot, and it has a slower fire rate, so it's real controllable. No re. It's a go-to if I find it. I usually pick it up.
You usually
Like
find it pretty early on too.
unless I got a car or an R99, but sometimes even I keep that over those.
Yeah.
I would say I'll say B tier for now. It could go up, but it depends.
Yeah. And yeah, the bow I've never
Okay,
used before.
I was using it earlier actually.
Okay.
If it's hard to hit shots with for me, I really don't like the optics too much. It takes up a lot of the screen,
Mm-hmm.
but no gun sound, so it does leave a trail with the arrow, so people gonna see you. But no sound it is a plus. I'd say B tier. It's like 30-30, but a little better.
Okay. I'm not too worried about that. But
Now the car.
yeah, the car, it can use light or heavy ammo, so that's kind of a big
Yeah,
bet.
so really good on ammo. I don't know if I think the Volt's technically better, but I would still have this in S tier.
Yeah, I always rock the car if I can get a hold of it.
Even though it doesn't do the damage as much, just
You
what was
help
that?
our children feel safe again.
Oh my god.
You help
Dad,
our
what
elderly
in the
to
world? That scared the life out of me, dude. Oh
I
my
was like,
god.
what is that?
I was like, is that you?
No,
uh,
charge rifle.
yeah, I'm not a big on energy weapons at all. Or not
It's
energy,
it
but
uses sniper.
yeah, I'm not big on that the charge rifle at all.
Man, if you
I
you
know
can
if
beam
you keep
people
that
with that
beam
thing,
on them, you
dude.
mess them up. But it's just not
Dude,
something I'm good
it
with.
does some damage. It was really OP for it still is. But it's at least B tier, dog. It's as good as the bow.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the best at range, no doubt.
Is this the Havoc?
A Havoc.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
loved the Havoc. I'm a big energy guy, so I'm big
Yeah,
on the
you get a
Havoc.
turbo on that,
Yeah, its fire
I
rate's
say
insane.
A tier. Really good damage too. And
The Volt?
the Devo, the
Yeah,
Devolution,
yeah. Uh,
C tier. Well, the turbo, I mean, it's pretty rowdy once it gets up here, but
yeah.
that slow fire rate to begin with really kills it without a turbo.
So is this the
It's
Evo?
it's really RNG reliant. The Eva 8.
Evo, yeah. Uh, I'm
I
I'm
got
big.
that A tier.
Yeah, I'm big shotgun boy. I like.
Really, all the shotguns are pretty good.
Yeah. They got the
It's a semi-auto. It's like the broccoli of Apex, but
pretty
it's not
much.
overpowered.
Yeah. Is this called the Valkyrie or the or
No,
Flatline?
flatline.
Yeah, I love this gun a lot. It's
Yeah,
probably the
it's
go-to
really
for me. It's
good.
very
Heavy
accurate.
ammo. It does have a little bit of recoil, but if you learn the pattern, it's not bad.
Yeah. I got either A or B. I really like this gun.
I'd say A tier.
Yeah.
I'd rather have it over the alternator.
Oh.
G7 Scout.
Yeah, whenever I got into the repeaters, this was a go-to because I don't remember why I liked it, but I really liked it. It got me better with the 30-30. I feel like its fire rate's a little bit faster. The
Yeah, you
Scout.
get the double tap, so it does like 2-round burst. I don't like it though. I'd say B tier. It's good without the double tap, honestly.
Yeah.
The
So,
Hemlock.
Hemlock. I don't think I've
You
used it
switch
that
that.
much.
It's the 3-round burst,
Okay, I've not used it that much.
and you can set it to single fire and just trigger finger, and I love doing that. But
Okay.
even on burst, that thing, it good. It's a good all rounder. It definitely not as good up close, but don't underestimate it. I'd say A tier.
Okay.
Most of the rifles I take over. And you're gonna see. It's just there's really A tier of every class.
Yeah. So is this the longbow or the Sentinel?
That's the Kraber. That's the care
Oh.
package.
Oh, okay. I've never used it
It'll
before.
one shot headshot as long as you don't got a
Red armor.
purple helmet. I think
Oh, yeah.
it might be red. I know purple. I think can survive it by like one shot, one health.
So I'll let you put this wherever because I've never used it
S
before.
tier.
Okay.
God, dude, I'd have games where I'd just constantly just headshot down, headshot down. Like, I'd get 6 or 7, dude. I remember one game I had like 3,000 damage just pinging heads in one spot.
Is this a charge
L
rifle?
star.
Oh, the L Star. Okay. I don't remember using
It's
it
kind
that
of
much.
nasty up close, but like most energy LMGs, I think it's an LMG. It just ain't for me. I personally would have it C tier. It does do some good damage. If you need it, don't sleep on it.
Yeah.
Like it can hurt.
I know this is the longbow. It's got to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
I never did do very much sniping, but I do remember really liking the Sentinel and the longbow.
Yeah, I'd say I have longbow probably A tier. Especially back when Apex came out, it was really good.
Yeah.
You can get I can't remember what it's called. It's where your headshots do more damage. The skull piercer
Yeah.
rifling. Yeah, that's really good on it.
I really like the Mastiff. It's probably my favorite
Yeah,
shotgun.
it's probably my favorite.
Yeah.
I'd
It's
say S tier shotgun.
yeah.
Just for the fact that it's consistent, man. Like
It
sometimes
is.
the Peacekeeper is not. And I know if I muzzle stuff you with the Mastiff, I'm cracking that shield dog.
Yeah. Yeah, that is yeah, unfortunately that it is a lack of skill, but it's consistent, If you're having an off day, it got
If
you.
you have skill though, you do good with it.
Yeah. The Mozambique, love it so much, especially with the as we were saying
S. No.
there. Yeah, it's so good.
Mozambiquer.
So reliable.
It's consistent.
It's so reliable, dude.
I would say A tier.
Yeah.
No, B tier. I cannot put it over the alternator.
Okay. The P22.
P2020, probably D tier. I never would run that over. That was the last gun I want to pick up.
Yeah, that's like that's the first gun you get and the first gun you toss. The Peacekeeper, I really I
For
like
nostalgia, S tier.
yeah. I still really like it. If you can get a headshot up close, they're gravy.
If
like
you
they're
can,
done.
if you can just hold down your aim down sights and do
Oh,
the
yeah.
choke, choke it up, man. It does some damage even at range.
I got A or
So
B for sure.
I got a S tier
You
just
got S
for
tier, yeah.
if you really know how to use it, it is good. It's got a good ceiling, like skill
I'd
ceiling.
say it's really good if you're like trying to hold down a building and wait for somebody to come in because that really gives you time to like crank up that choke.
It's dependent because the Mastiff I would take over it, but either one I'm not complaining.
Uh huh. So I don't know what this gun's called. It's been too long.
The Prowler.
Prowler, yeah. So heavy round
Prowler,
submachine gun.
I fuck with the Prowler. I got A tier.
Okay.
I remember that when the game came out, you could get the select fire on it and it'd be full auto. Man, that thing would rip.
So man, another gun I can't remember the name of.
R301.
Yeah. Oh, could you also use dual round for it too?
I don't think it was that. I think it was like it'd select fire to single shot and do more damage.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was.
It's like the M27 from Black Ops 2. It's just OG. It's S tier all day. The number one AR.
I'm not gonna argue with that. So
Then the R99
yep, R99.
used to be S tier, but now I'd have it A tier. It dumps some ammo, dude. And the car does more damage per magazine, so I really can't have it over the car.
The Sentinel, I'm a big fan. Sentinel is
Yeah. Sentinel is so satisfying.
yeah, it is. It's like dang 50 cal of Apex.
It's 300 win mag. Yeah.
I got it in A or S. It's so good. It's such a good
I
sniper.
got A tier. I can't take it over the Kraber,
Yeah.
but if I'm sniping, I'm picking it up.
So is this the Rampage?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I hate LMGs in video games, but man, I'd be liking the Rampage.
Yeah, the Rampage be putting down some bullets. Dog.
Yeah, especially if you got like a big squad and you got to like really throw some
You
ammo
can
down
almost
range.
use it over the longbow.
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
I would say A tier. There's a lot of A tier guys. It's really you can be so creative with your setups.
Yeah. That is why I like Apex or the Battle Royale games is you kind of got to use each gun because if you open a box and you're near a guy, you just kind of got to use whatever. You ain't using them fists.
Yeah. I try to look for ground on loot, but if I could open a box, let's just take what you get.
I think that's why a lot of reason why I don't like a lot of the LMGs and CODs because I've never really like had to use them because
Man, they were good on like
I know.
Black Ops 2 and MW3.
LSAT, man, I missed out. So the RK5, I don't know what's called on here.
RE45.
It looks like the RK5 from
Full
Black Ops
auto.
3. I don't really know much about the pistols, so I'll give you free
D-tier.
reign.
I'm not C.
Oh,
I'm not taking it over the alternator any day.
yeah. So what LMG is this?
That's the Spitfire. It's the light ammo LMG.
Okay, I don't
I'd
know that I've
probably
used
have it
much.
over the Rampage. I would have an A tier, middle of A tier somewhere probably, because I like it over the Rampage. I just like the better fire rate. The slow fire rate of the Rampage kills it sometimes.
Yeah.
Get just dookied on close quarters in it.
I remember really liking the triple take.
It's pretty fun. I like the choke on it.
Yeah. I'd say it's probably my least favorite sniper, but it's still fun.
You can
like you said.
shotgun it up close. Just hip fire that sucker, dude.
I've never tried that before.
It does pretty good if you're right on people.
I remember it being kind of forgiving if you were off by a little bit because, of course, you had that extra round on each side.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like I said. I don't think it's one of the best snipers. I would say it's probably
You
the least
choke
best.
it in and hit it pretty good. I'd say B tier, but
Yeah, that's where I
I
was
couldn't
thinking.
put it with Sentinel.
Is this the
The
Volt?
Volt.
Yeah.
Yeah, straight S tier dog.
Yeah. Its fire rate's
No
insane.
recoil, great damage.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the peak of SMG.
And
And then the OG
the
dog.
wingman. The only thing I don't like
Wingman
about it is
Peacekeeper
it's
OG
two
setup.
shots. That's the only thing I don't like about it is 2 shots, and I'm not very accurate, so it's just like, dang, I done
What do you
missed
mean
both
2
chances.
shots?
I thought it was is it a single shot?
It's like 6.
Oh, is it?
It's
I must be
hand
thinking.
cannon, bang, bang, bang,
I'm
bang.
thinking of that pistol on COD that has the two shotgun shells in it. The
Enforcer.
maybe it's called the Marshalls.
Oh, the Marshalls, yeah. No, this is like sniper, but it's
Yeah, I
heavy ammo.
remember. Man,
And
I could not hit shot
if
for
you
this
can
thing.
headshot, man, that is the highest skill cap gun in the game.
Huh.
It is the best gun in the game if you can hit your shots. It's been nerfed so many times, and it's still just S tier for me.
It shouldn't be nerfed, you know. If you could hit your shots, you know,
Well, they used to have a really fast fire rate,
oh, I could see that.
and it do some damage, dude. I remember
Reminds me of the dang
season 1.
it's like the golden gun from 007.
Yeah, that thing just put down the work.
Yeah. I'm guessing you got this in S tier by the sound of it.
Oh yeah, that thing is just the best.
Yeah, so I'm pretty content with this. Like I said, Jordan's put in way more hours than me, but I feel like I've said my piece. I've used quite a bit of these guns, especially the shotguns. Very fun. So if you're happy with this, I guess we can throw it to an outro.
Yeah, don't really think I'd change much. You know, I can maybe move the alt, but I'm still fine with where it's at.
All right. Well, guys, I just want to go ahead and thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to keep up with us throughout the week, follow us on social media where you can see kind of what we're up to throughout the week in between episodes and participate in upcoming episodes. And with that being said, guys, we will see you in the next one.